Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for staying with us. We are moving into the final round of Swiss in the Masters Division Pokemon Video Game Regional Championships here in Singapore. If you're just joining us, my name is Shang Lo, and joining me on stream is Amir.
We had actually quite a good run today. We're having quite a lot of interesting matches throughout. Even in the first match was actually quite a nice match to watch. Having very close one, a lot of back and forth, key points here. Not really matches that you usually see in the first round where one side just triumphs over the other quite easily.
And as we move into the last round of Swiss, we do want to help the top players preserve a bit of information going into the top cut. So we are having a rather low risk match here on stream. Ryan versus Jonas. They're actually both very good players, but perhaps not their day today. Both sitting at a 2-3 record. They won't be able to top cut even if they win this match, but hope to see some interesting things from both of these players.
Both of them are good, have shown to be good players, so I mean it's nice to see what have they been running and what would they do.
And we see straight away on the top screen Jonas with a rather standard team with interesting elements with Kangaskhan, Rotom Wash, Breloom, Clefairy, Landorus, and Heatran, whereas Ryan's team is slightly more unconventional, but also has that Kangaskhan Amoonguss core with the Landorus, Zapdos, Tyranitar, and Blaziken as a choice. So two standout Pokemon on each side of the field here. Jonas' Clefairy as well as Ryan's Blaziken here.
I mean, on Ryan's side you can see that he may have two Megas, but Blaziken is a Pokemon that people generally don't run with Megas, as the ability is still the same whether you have this Mega or not with speed boost. On Jonas' side we have actually there's a Clefairy though. With ability Friend Guard, so actually he can actually help Jonas' other Pokemon like say Landorus, Heatran, Rotom. These are actually quite bulky Pokemon to begin with, and thanks to Friend Guard they can actually take a bit more hits.
And not only does Clefairy have Friend Guard, it also has that obnoxious Follow Me redirection move. That's the best redirection move in the game, better than Rage Powder because you're unable to be affected by Safety Goggles or Grass types. So Clefairy here also has a plethora of support moves in Thunder Wave, Helping Hand. It even gets knocked off, interestingly enough. So looking forward to see Jonas and his Clefairy here. And we might see a showdown between Kangaskhan and the Redirectors.
Well, both are having their own Redirectors with one Rage Powder, Amoonguss, and one Follow Me Clefairy. We see Ryan setting out his Blaziken and Landorus.
As Jonas goes for Breloom, Kangaskhan. So Landorus is going to fire up that Intimidate straight off onto both the Breloom and the Kangaskhan. Good Intimidate there, lowering down the two physical attackers. As Blaziken is in a pretty good position here, it can go straight for the Protect to start getting speed boosts up, as there's nothing really threatening the Blaziken on Jonas' side of the field.
I mean, Blaziken also does not really have to go for Protect. It can just go straight for the attack, as it can deal with both Breloom with a fire type move or Kangaskhan with a fighting type move relatively easy.
But we see Ryan pulling out the Mega Blaziken, double Mega on his team. Blaziken going to get a lot of attack and some speed boost. But the Fake Out does go on to the Blaziken there. Going to do quite a fair bit of damage as Super Power comes out from the Landorus onto Kangaskhan. Isn't enough to get the KO. Oh, just barely hangs on.
The Spore does come out of the Breloom, kind of one of the expected plays. I mean, as I mentioned before, both sides have their Redirectors, but both sides also have their Pokemon that are capable of scoring the other. However, on Ryan's side, it is pretty much the same Pokemon with Amoonguss doing both. While on Jonas, you have two different Pokemon for each role. So you have Clefairy being able to redirect, while Breloom being able to spore.
Interestingly, we did see Jonas's Breloom outspeed Ryan's Blaziken on the first turn. So that may give us a hint that Breloom might not be holding his conventional Focus Sash item, but actually a Choice Scarf. And I wonder if Ryan's going to be able to pick up on that and adjust his plays accordingly in round 2.
I mean, Choice Scarf Breloom is quite scary as he can go faster than most Pokemon and using Spore. But Blaziken, with a speed boost, he's probably be able to outspeed Breloom and take care of that with ease.
Kangaskhan is the one to withdraw for Jonas, not the Breloom, as Rotom Wash comes in, but Flare Blitz going straight out from the Blaziken onto the Breloom. Moment of truth, does it have to focus dash? No, Freedom goes wild, one-hit KO for the Mega Blaziken. Huge turn for Ryan there, as he not only gets Amoonguss in for free, but he also picks out a huge threat on Jonas' side of the field.
I mean, that dealt heavy recall damage onto Blaziken, but it doesn't really matter as Breloom is one of the very huge threats, as you mentioned, especially if he does really have the Choice Scarf, as we suspected earlier, that would have really threatened whatever Pokemon that Ryan could have brought in, such as his Landorus just now, or maybe any other Pokemon other than Amoonguss.
Jonas here though makes a really smart switch, bringing his Landorus, probably trying to ignore Amoonguss' Rage Powder and get off super effective Earthquake, but Ryan adjusts brilliantly, bringing in his own Landorus to drop the Intimidate onto his opponent's Landorus. Earthquake comes out, not going to hit anything on the field except for this Amoonguss, which means that Amoonguss is probably going to put something to sleep this turn. But the read! Jonas predicts actually, it doesn't have to be that big of a prediction, as Hydro Pump is going to hit Blaziken for super effective damage anyway, but that miss is rather unfortunate for Ryan. But although, honestly, if you look at Ryan's position, he might have been trying to actually sacrifice his Landorus there, as it is asleep and not really doing anything for him. And in doing so, it allows him to bring back his unintimidated Blaziken in order to do more damage to his opponent here.
I mean, sacrificing Landorus here is not too much of a loss on Ryan's side. As you mentioned, he's sleeping and not really doing anything. A free switching coming in would help a lot.
A strange play from Jonas there, possibly forgetting that Ryan's Landorus is actually asleep, going for the Will-O-Wisp into the already sleeping Landorus, not going to do anything there. Maybe he was predicting a switch there, but even then, the possibility of switching into the Blaziken meant that the Will-O-Wisp play there was probably
not going to affect anything.
Not a good read, if not just an outright misplay.
We see 3 sleeping Pokemon on the field here, while Amoonguss is just happily there using Giga Drain onto Rotom Wash. Super effective there, not dealing too much damage, but it's a free attack, it gets to heal up, and everything else is still a stick anyway.
On a bulky Pokemon like Rotom Wash, any damage is good damage. And you see that even though Amoonguss is not especially that offensive, as he usually invests in bulk, you see that the Giga Drain still does a good 30%, as Jonas' Landorus actually wakes up before Ryan's here and fires off the Rock Slide.
Avoiding the Amoonguss, actually potentially mattering, as he doesn't go on the flinch. Oh, actually it does matter. The spot does goes on to the Landorus, reading that he might wake up on this turn and putting off the correct move and playing it off quite well.
Great play by Ryan there, covering his bases, recognizing that Amoonguss isn't really doing much outside of putting things to sleep, and that's exactly what it does best. As it's finally Ryan's turn for his Landorus to wake up, gonna go for the U-turn onto Amoonguss here, onto Rotom Wash, gonna bounce back, do a good amount of damage, proccing Citrus Berry, but most likely going to see a double target into this Rotom Wash this turn.
I would imagine Ryan will bring out his last Pokemon.
He does bring his last Pokemon, and it is the Zapdos.
Yeah, because Blaziken isn't really a good position. Getting hit by a potential Hydro Pump is quite scary, so I guess Zapdos can take it quite well, being a bulky Pokemon in of its own.
And Jonas' Pokemon simply cannot wake up as Giga Drain drops Rotom Wash into the red, gonna heal Amoonguss all the way back up, almost to full there. Landorus has used up 2 turns of sleep though now, so most likely it's going to be able to wake up the following turn to fire off a super effective Rock Slide onto this Zapdos and potentially flinch it as well.
Well, I mean, Ryan has been putting himself in a decent position, putting everything to sleep and getting cheap damage here and there. Oh, we see Jonas has Rotom Wash waking up, protecting, so not being able to get hit, and Landorus also wakes up, being able to launch off a Rock Slide. Does it flinch Zapdos or? Oh, does
no, Zapdos does not flinch, fights through the 30% flinch chance, and gets a Hidden Power Ice off. Not enough to get rid of the Landorus though, but Giga Drain goes into the Rotom Protect. Ryan not capitalizing on that passive play from Jonas to pick up the KO on Landorus there.
Yeah, Landorus is a fast Pokemon in this case, so even though Jonas' Landorus is low on HP, it's still quite a dangerous thing to be there.
Landorus is going to continue firing off those Rock Slides though, try to pick up the flinch sooner or later, but Zapdos gets the Roost, going to heal back all the way to full. Let's see if Amoonguss can attack through this flinch here. Hydro Pump, but the avoid again! Jonas's Rotom was just simply not able to hit its Hydro Pumps this game. Obviously not well enough trained, maybe not enough Pokeballs fed to this Rotom as it finally goes down.
Now Jonas has only 2 Pokemon left and Ryan is pretty much free to switch in and out his own Landorus to launch off Intimidates, rendering both Kangaskhan and Jonas' Landorus useless. And both Jonas' Pokemon are already at low HP to begin with, so sending out, maybe having one of Ryan's own Pokemon KO and sending out Landorus to just finish off with a Rock Slide will probably net him the game.
Ryan not protecting here, possibly trying to bait a fake out onto his Rocky Helmet Amoonguss if it's carrying that item, but Jonas isn't going to fall for that as he goes for the fake out onto Zapdos. Rock Slide going to go onto Zapdos here, but Amoonguss refuses to flinch for the 3rd turn in a row and picks up the Giga Drain, but doesn't get the KO.
Well, now with Jonas' Pokemon both in the red, I don't think he can really do much about it, especially with Ryan himself having his own Landorus and Blaziken that can just protect in speed boost.
As the Rage Powder comes out from the Amoonguss, gonna eat up that return. Does it have the Rocky Helmet? The Rocky Helmet procs and feints the Kangaskhan here. So Landorus against the world, but Choice Scarf Landorus with Rock Slide is pretty much the only Pokemon you would want to have in a 1v4 situation. But Zapdos is not gonna flinch.
Well, normally 1v4 you will have a Rock Slide Choice Scarf Landorus, but Ryan does still have his Blaziken, so even with a flinch, well-timed protect, or even one single flinch, will get you the speed boost and you'll be able to outspeed that Landorus anyway.
That is correct, as Ryan closes out this rather one-sided game against Jonas here, but both players definitely have had some good showings in the past, and it's Pokemon. Some days just aren't your days, and in this case, hopefully both of them will be able to bounce back at future tournaments and make a comeback. We still have a few big tournaments coming up in the season, and much to look forward to. And that's that's the thing when you rely on Rock Slide. Sometimes you get the flinches, sometimes you don't. And in that case, Jonas was playing his best move. He was trying to get the flinches that he needed to get back into this game. But unfortunately, the game wouldn't give it to him.
I mean, some players may disagree with trying to take advantage of flinches or luck, as they say, or hacks to win. But if it's your best choice, or probably your only choice, it's best to just go after it.
Exactly, and that's what makes the mark of a good player, recognizing that, although your best play may not be the most popular play amongst the fans, that ultimately you are playing to win, and making your best plays will get you the victory.
Any chance that you have, just take it.
Exactly. So I think we're going to have Ryan on stream in just a moment.
Oh man, good match, man.
Huh?
Good match.
It was a good game. Whoops. Alright, and joining me on stream right now is Ryan Lowe, who not my brother, but
Brother from another mother.
yeah, who just claimed a rather convincing victory. But I do want to talk about, as the final round of Swiss, probably a bit more casual. Nothing to play for, a bit more fun game, I hope, for you. The element of luck in that game. Jonas did miss 2 Hydro Pumps, and he never flinched you, basically. Your Amoonguss is so well trained, able to hit through flinches after flinches after flinches. You're probably one of the more experienced players in in this community. So how do you deal with luck as a factor of this game? I mean, you have to deal with it. So how do you deal with it?
Honestly, I think that luck has always been part of the game. You need to mentally prepare yourself for potential flinches, potential early awakenings. It's part of the game, honestly, and I think the game is paying me back for that last match for what it's been doing to me the whole of the season.
I mean, you win some, you lose some, right? You can't.
No, see, I got frozen twice. I got a double freeze back in Malaysia.
Right. You saw that, interesting choice to have. I was talking about your team for a bit. You have a double mega, I assume, with both the Blaziken and the Kangaskhan, which are both physical megas. So how do you deal with that in a meta game full of intimidates and buffs to special?
It's all about smart switching in the team. The main team idea was to switch with Zapdos and Landorus, and especially capitalize on Landorus's bulk along with Intimidate. I was running a full attack and speed Landorus, but I find that the bulk along with the quick Intimidate along with U-turn did work out for me in the end. But this team is still very unrefined, as you can see from my 3-3 record,
Well, 3-3, at least it still broke even. There's still, I'm sure you'll continue working on that team going forward. There's still tournaments to look forward to. Hope to see you back in future tournaments and maybe a better result in the future as well. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.